have recently invented, I'm coining it, the Ab King Pro. I wanted to figure out a way that we could treat this area whilst getting a little bit more rotation of the spine that's possible for us when they're lying on their back. So can you lie on your side, Darcy? And there's MMT Budgie Smugglers. I see them on Patreon. And rotate around. Let your shoulder drop. Keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. All the way as far as you can. G'day everybody, Aaron here from MMT, and in today's video I'm going to tell you how treating an oblique helped a bloke get over what he thought was a broken or cracked rib with pain in his back. So today I'm going to take you through a case study that I had recently of a bloke who had a really bad back spasm right about here. Okay, he was working installing lights into ceilings, which he's done thousands of times. He's been working in this industry a long time. But on this particular day, he had a really bad back spasm, which just basically made him bedridden for a couple of weeks. He literally could not move his spine at all, couldn't sit down and stand up properly, had troubles with coughing, sneezing, breathing, laughing. And when that happens, there's just been a massive spasm and contraction of the muscles around the spine. And because he had troubles breathing and sneezing and things, you're always thinking that it's a potential rib injury because he was kind of saying that it was wrapping around. Now, given that it wasn't a high velocity incident, which generally is going to be sometimes attributed to a broken rib or a cracked rib, it was kind of really interesting because it was like, this guy's super jacked up. But it doesn't really feel like it's a broken rib, even though that's what he was complaining of, all right? So on inspection, he was super hypertonic, meaning there's a lot of muscle tone in this region. And so as a body worker, generally you're gonna go to the site of pain first, and especially when you see some objective analysis, which means it looks like it's pretty jacked up, that's where we wanna start, all right? So for him, I got him down on the table and I started to do some really just slow strips up the spine. And he was very aware that when I got to a certain point, it was quite painful, but I was taking a little bit of tone out. And so I was thinking, this could be it, you know, start where it is, then branch out. But when I started to do some more kind of pushing in pressure, some more specific pressure, his body just completely cramped again. So it spasmed up again and he had to get off the table and stretch out. And so when that happens as a body worker, I always think that's the body's way of telling me, this isn't where it is, you need to go look elsewhere. Okay, so I had to get my thinking cap on. I had to really dive into the story and the mechanism of the injury to try and figure out where I wanted to explore. So when he told me how it happened, he was explaining to me that he was doing a lot of things above his head and kind of reaching over in all these different directions, okay? So for me, I start to think about the things that actually do that or help the spine to do that. So what this is lateral flexion, all right? So the spine rotate, laterally flexing to either side. And the things that do that are the lower back muscles, the QLs, which are deeper, but also the obliques. All right, so after a little bit of testing and pushing into different areas, I stuck with my hypothesis that I wanted to check the obliques to see if this was potentially causing the pain, because many of you don't know that they are really powerful movers and stabilizers of the lower back. So we're going to go over here, Leo, and talk about what we're working on here. So this is what we're working on. So a lot of you know that you have abdominal muscles, but many of you might not know that you have these oblique muscles on the sides, and there's many layers of them. So we can see here, this is the most external oblique or close to the surface, but have a look here. They've actually cut all the different layers of obliques. So we've got the external oblique, internal oblique, and then the transverse abdominis sit underneath the rectus abdominis here. So there's just so much incredible, intricate fibers going in different directions. And these muscles are the ones that help us flex the torso, rotate our spine, laterally flex, as I said before, but that's our core. That's what keeps us stable, okay? And what was so interesting about this bloke, after we started working with him, I really dove in on, but why now? You know, you've been doing this for so many years, why now? And what was so fascinating was that on this particular day, he wore runners, not his steel cap boots, all right? And he was working on ladders. So you can imagine normally for him, when he's working on a ladder, he's on the rungs. If he's in steel cap boots, they're so solid. They don't flex or bend at all. So his base of support when he wears those is solid. On this day, he wore runners. So you can imagine rubber sole shoes. You can imagine when he's standing like this, they're probably bending and they're not secure. So what happened was on this day, because the basis of the support was different, where did it go to next? He probably had to use his obliques so much more than normal over his head like this to the point where they just overloaded. They couldn't handle anymore. They spasmed up, and for whatever reason, he didn't get the pain here. He got the pain up in here, okay? So fascinating stuff. I want to show you guys a little bit more about how incredible this system is, just so you body workers know how to work it. So we can see here this external oblique. See how it starts all the way down at the pubic bone, on the ilium, on the crest of the pelvis there, and then fans up and attaches to the ribs. So look at all this opportunity for us to do some good work on the rib cage here. Then underneath that, you've got the internal oblique. So a little bit deeper and a completely different fiber orientation. So you can see 45-degree angle going up with the external, 45-degree angle going in with the internal. And look at that collection on the ribs there. So you can see how powerful they would be to move the spine, move the thorax, and move the rib cage.
That's cool.
All right. This is another one too. So we can see the rectus abdominis, they're more straight up and down. So they're more like helping with flexion. And then we've got underneath that, the transverse abdominis. So transverse means this is the transverse plane going sideways, and their fiber orientation is more straight across. So they're more helping with rotation of the spine. So this is why these muscles are so important to core function. But in this guy's case, this guy's body had sensed instability and caused everything to cramp on, which gave him a literal back spasm. And what was incredible too is, like, see how it attaches to the ribs? No wonder this guy felt like it was a rib issue because of its attachment to the ribs. So even though he was feeling the pain on the back, it was all coming from the front here, okay? But I didn't know that until I started to push in. And another thing I wanted to show you too is just the referral points for these muscles. So you can see how they refer into the groin, into the hip crease. So, you know, when you've got someone coming in with groin pain or hip impingement, you know, you've got to check that internal oblique. But for this guy, this is another chart that's really cool. We can see the rectus abdominis and the abs here even refer into the back. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys how important this is. Because even me as a body worker, like I've treated over 12,000 times, all right? And, you know, this is my, I don't know, 12th, 13th year of doing body work. And even though I knew of its importance, it's just blown my mind even further about how this guy had literally what he thought was a broken rib, and it was the bloody abs that were causing it, okay?
Abs and obliques.
Abs and obliques. So this is what I did to start the treatment. So it's very kind of similar-ish to our hip flexor work. But with our hip flexor work, you want to try and get down to the spine. With this work, it's a little bit more superficial, so you probably don't need to be going down in too much. It's more, we're just sussing out the stuff closer to the surface. And so for what I did with him, I'm going to show you a series of techniques today, but when you're in a real session, you're really making things up. You know, once you're in there, you're just kind of feeling into it, intuitively dancing and doing what you need to do to actually get the job done. So I'm just going to show you a demonstration here of exactly what I did. So just hooked into the skin here, only got a very little bit of wax on my hands and was just saying g'day to it, doing these little strips, trying to make it really slow and intentional and as fascial as possible. And what was so interesting about this guy, like, it was so sharp and so organy and so painful for this guy. And what was fascinating though, he came back the second week and the treatment had stuck, which is so good. But what was amazing was when I pushed into this region, barely any sharp pain. Like, it just felt like me pushing into skin. So that made me think even more, like, when you have these sharp pains as a body worker, when you're pushing into someone, you kind of think, is it digestion? Is it IBS and stuff? I reckon it was actually how painful and tight these obliques were, which was giving him that just sharp, intense pain, because all that visceral fascia, the organ fascia, the digestive system, the abs and obliques were just so bound together as one stuck unit. And so when I spent this session with this guy, 20 minutes on each side, just melting and ungluing, unfusing all this region, it was amazing how the pain receptors just literally melted and disintegrated. So remember, you have to cover a large surface area because it goes all the way up and under the ribs. On top of the ribs even, you kind of want to be saying g'day to these upper abdominals as well and pushing up under the ribs in here and seeing if we can release some stuff under the ribs. So this is exactly what I did with this guy. What we didn't cover today was the diaphragm as well. And when you do this specific technique, you actually are treating the diaphragm a little bit as well as that parachute-like muscle that sits underneath the rib cage, which helps us with breathing. So yeah, I just pushed in, released, pushed in again and worked with his breath. So with Darcy, I'll just do exactly what I did. Just, yeah, breathe for me, man. So when you breathe in, I'll let go a little bit, and then when you breathe out, I'll just reconnect in, bro. It's good, man. Another one we use too is the finger pads underneath here, so we can kind of shorten the skin and then get our finger pads to pin right up into this region in here. So sometimes you can actually go a little bit deeper when you shorten that tissue on the rib cage there, and just free up into this. Get my finger pads right up, and you'll make sure your fingernails are pretty short for this one too, guys, when you're working in this region. Just like that. Another one I use a lot too is the knuckle drag. So you just sink inside the ASIS in here. And remember, we're not pushing straight down too much. We're kind of connecting in, but then I'll sink back here and make sure my arm is more kind of parallel or horizontal. And that will mean that even though I'm connecting in, I'm promoting my pressure to be going more horizontal and through rather than straight down too deep. Because once again, yeah, we want to be working on these superficial fibers and working with his breath. Good, man. Breathe in and out. So remember, just our same methods, our same methodology and messaging, just going at the rate the tissue's allowing me through, working with the breath of the person. With this stuff, we don't want them to be too overactive. We want them to be relaxing. As much as this is probably pretty painful at times, yeah, we want to make sure that they're able to breathe into the treatment. And you can try with the other knuckle to see if you can just get pinning into some different fibers. Gives me a little bit of a different leverage point as well. So this is where the dance comes into it. When I'm doing this work on people, it's just do what you intuitively feel like you want to do. Go where you feel like you want to go. Work with your person. What do they need? With this particular guy, I probably tried 20 different techniques in the time, just winging it. And that's what, when you're an intuitive bodyworker, you kind of have to be in that mindset. Because, yeah, the most diverse and comprehensive and thorough treatment is the one that's going to win most times. So you can do these too. I love doing this one where you kind of get the opposite thumb. You can even come from the opposite side of the table too, like this. Just gives you a little bit more leverage and get a bit of counter strain as well, and then start working down underneath there. So breathing Darcy. Beautiful. It's a good spot in there. And then I'd do things when I'd come from up this side of the table and then just hook in and try and work down that line. Just got to remember how the external obliques are coming up this line, the internal's coming up this line, and the transverse is going across. So the different directions you can take these strokes, the more chance you're going to have to hydrate all these lines and release this tension. So you can see me, I'm just circling the table here. All the way down. And I can take this one back up too, so pick up the slack again. Overlap my hands. And then bring it up. And around. Working down the rectus abdominis now. Nice. Another thing I did with this guy as well is, because he didn't have much rotation in his spine at all, once I felt like I was making inroads with the tone in this region, what I started to do was find a good hook point. And then I actually got him to reach your hand So imagine you're going to reach up on a 45-degree angle over here, Darcy, and reach your fingers to the sky. Good, man. Breathe out. Good. And then reach your hands up the opposite way up here. The right hand. Yeah. Bit of rotation of the spine too, man. Reach. Good. And then change again. And reach. Good, man. And then the other side. Beautiful. So just finding different ways to put a different stimulus on the treatment, trying to promote a little bit of rotation of the spine as well to tell the brain, with this guy in particular, to tell the brain, hey, it's okay, we're releasing this cramp that's been stuck. It's okay to move again. It's safe. So that's the kind of stuff I'd recommend doing, guys. Now remember how all this stuff comes up and attaches up onto the ribs here. So what we can do as a way to figure out, right, where do we want to be pinning onto this region up here? You can do what we call a finger drag or a rake. You can hook up into the ribs here and then just do this nice connected, slow dragging stroke down the ribs, potentially getting into some intercostals, but most importantly, finding where the most important areas are to actually do your oblique work, where these obliques go and attach to the ribs up in this region. Some good spots in there, Darth.
Oh yeah. Some sharp ones.
Yeah.
It's good though.
It's just one of those areas that, as a receiver of bodywork, you just don't get pushed into here too much, so you're not even aware of your own spots, and so unless you get them pushed into, you don't know what their relevance is. Nice. Good breathing, man. So what we can do is also do some thumb pressure to go and check out where these important bits are. What we can do is we can use this here as the guide rail. So see those banana finger type muscles there? See if you can see that through there. That's the serratus. So what we know is the external obliques go up and attach almost into the serratus in here. So this is the kind of line that we're working with all through here before it attaches to the serratus in there. So that's probably a really good stroke that we can use and start on the rib and then just take it out. You can see heaps of good twitching there, which is really cool. Hopefully the camera can pick that up, but Darcy's serratus and obliques are really, see that? That's twitching hard. There's a really good spot. Check in here, that's where it was twitching. So wait for it. There we go, that's cool. So we can see there are some important trigger points in here for sure. It might have been right in here. There we go. See that? That's going nuts there. Oh, it's really cool. So Darcy probably wasn't even aware, but this is money for Darcy. That's absolutely going bananas. So one thing we didn't speak about here is the fibre orientation of the external obliques literally joins into the serratus, into the lat and into the pec minor and goes all the way up the shoulder. So it's kind of, you can see when we run and we throw and we sprint, making sure that this whole line is hydrated and free is so bloody important. So yeah, I hope that gives you guys an idea of like just how important it is to push into these ribs here, because you never know what kind of nuggets are there. That twitching looks like it's stopped there now, which is good.
Failed to release, it was nice.
There we go, there's another twitch there too. Twitchy, twitchy, holy moly. We seeing that, guys? Oh. Needed this, Darcy, bro.
Definitely.
Keep breathing there for me. Beautiful, man. Let's see if we can get one more twitch for the camera. I reckon If you put your arm up a little bit, Darcy, just get out of the light there. We'll just get... There we go. Twitch, 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 twitch. Oh. There's one. There's one up here for us. There we go. Nice. Beautiful. So what we'll finish off with is what I have recently invented. I'm coining it, the Ab King Pro. So this is a dynamic, remember how I've taught you today how much these muscles help with rotation of the spine? I wanted to figure out a way that we could treat this area whilst getting a little bit more rotation of the spine that's possible for us when they're lying on their back. So can you lie on your side, Darcy, facing this way? That's it. And there's MMT Budgie Smugglers. I see them on Patreon.
Patreon only.
Patreon only. So this is what I've been doing lately, and I'm really enjoying it actually. So we know now that the fibers go this way, and this way. So what I've been doing is just hooking my pressure in here. And the good thing about this is you can kind of secure your clients to keep their hips in one position. And what I'm going to get Darcy to do is take a big deep breath in, and as he breathes out, drop that left arm back to the ground, behind you, and rotate around. Let your shoulder drop. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. All the way as far as you can. And come back. Beautiful. And again. And open up, bro. Open up, open up. Good, just let it drop, let it drop. Open, 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 open. Beautiful. And again. So this is following that external oblique line. Remember how we know that that goes kind of diagonally from the pubic bone up to the shoulder? Beautiful. And can we work the other oblique, the internal oblique that goes up this way? So same thing again, Darcy. Lock those hips in and rotate, bro. Rotate, rotate. Oh. Beautiful, and again. Lock it in place there. And rotate, 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 rotate. Let the arm go, let the arm go, let the arm go. Good, man. Beautiful, one more time. Good, keep that body right over there and go. Good, let the shoulder drop, man. That's it. And then last one, let's go the transverse abdominis. So go right over, man. Shuffle this butt back a little bit more, man. There you go. And let's go straight across the side. Ready? And go, man.
Same again?
Yep, same again. I'm just changing my position. Ooh. Good, and again, come back. Remember, breathe out. Breathe in, and let it all go, bro. And rotate. Keep letting it go, keep letting it go, keep letting it go. And if you stay in that position, Darcy, I feel like Darcy would really benefit from also probably me doing some lines going up this serratus and opening him up. As well. Stay there, man. Just getting a feeling that this is going to help you. And breathe. Nice, man. One more big deep breath in. And out. Go, 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 go. Beautiful. So there it is, guys. That's how I helped this dude who thought he had a cracked rib, really bad back spasm, get his freedom and function back by working into the obliques. So hopefully you guys as body workers now know how important it is to know your anatomy around this region, treat it well, try it on people that you've been kicking the can down the road a little bit with back pain that's been kind of not abating or coming back. Work into the obliques, get these people to express more, because that's the other thing we haven't spoken about is the importance of this region to being vital and being a proud human and open and expressive, as opposed to someone who's more closed off or a little bit down and depressed, anxiety. You know, the people that are really closed off to this region are the ones that are kind of protecting themselves, not wanting to open up, don't want to have that exposure. And so if you're kind of working on yourself to get out of that state, and you haven't tried getting this work done to you, this can be such a transformative way to actually open up and express and be free and be authentic in this world. All right, so this work, it's very great for physical pain, but it also has so much parallels to overcoming emotional and psychological stuff, and yeah, just helping you process life and get back to being yourself. All right, thanks for joining me today, and Darcy being my model, Leo being my cameraman. Thank you very much. See ya.